Look, I'm just gonna say, give me a psychopathic alien dad any day over a smug bureaucrat with absolutely no soul. Omni Man, sure, he can be pretty terrifying, but does he really have what it takes to beat the dangers of Cecil? I believe that to be false for multiple reasons. I mean, he's got the mustache of a retired sheriff and the power to level a planet before even he decides to get out of bed. But at least, you know where he stands. He's that same guy who told his son that Earth was basically a breeding farm for his species. And what does that sound like? Absolutely disgusting, yes. But let's be honest here, our buddy Cecil Stedman, on the other hand, that man is the ultimate homeland security, of course in a trench coat, shady, smug, and somehow always 10 steps ahead of the apocalypse, even if he's half the reason for the whole catastrophe to happen. He's not just playing 4D chess, this dude came up with the whole board himself, sacrificed the pawns, and is now selling the game to the Pentagon. Let's take a trip to the psychological horror tape. One thing I can definitely vouch for is that Cecil knew Omni Man was a fraud the whole time, but he just let him babysit the planet anyway. What superhero would allow that to happen in his right mind? Alright, but let's get the facts straightened out. Our beloved Earth gets a shiny new Superman in the form of Omni Man. The dude is a walking testosterone bomb with the charm of a complete sociopath, and of course, most importantly, the strength of a nuke. And he has this claim that he just goes on and on about that he's from a galactic charity to help developing planets cure, right? Wrong. Cecil, however, isn't buying the intergalactic missionary AC one bit. He smells the absolute bullshit from orbit. And instead of alerting the planet's defenses, or, well, at least forwarding a stern email to the Guardians of the Globe, he just watches, observes. It kind of reminded me of those unmarked van guys outside your house. Ringing any bells? I mean, come on, this is Omni Man we're talking about. The guy could fold a mountain range like laundry and still make it home in time for dinner. If I even suspected someone like that was lying about where they came from, I'd be texting every superhero group chat in existence. But nope, Cecil's brilliant plan is basically, let's just chill and hope he doesn't vaporize a city. Oh, and while we're all sitting around waiting for common sense to show up, maybe hit like and subscribe before Omni Man makes your Wi-Fi irrelevant. That's calculated murder with a taxpayer receipt. Too brutal? Sounds about right to me. What interested me the most was Cecil's crazy philosophy. What was it? Just the fact about how he casually thought, let the world burn a little for the greater good.
What?
Here's the thing. The whole reason for Omni Man to be evil is because he has a purpose. The guy isn't floating around aimlessly. He actually has a mission which he is nowhere close to backing down from. Kill a few billion people, breed some hybrids, call it a day. And Cecil? His evil is, and by that I mean twisted, sure, but damn, he's one heck of a supernatural being. Don't get me wrong, I think he's pretty twisted, but in style. He doesn't punch through cities, he's very stealthy and cunningly finds genocide via government black ops. If you put these two in a room, Omni Man will snap at your neck while Cecil calmly explains why your death creates operational stability in the region. I think that's one of the best Cecil things to do. Cecil's whole vibe screams the ends justifying the war crimes. You thought Omni Man was bad for lying about his origin. Cecil lied by omission to the entire planet for years. He knew Omni Man wasn't here to help us and still let him cosplay as a hero because it's better than pissing him off. Can we even call that strategy? I'd like to think of it as more as a textbook passive-aggressive apocalyptic negligence. This guy doesn't just tolerate evil, he hires it. I'm getting ultimate boss vibes here. Need a killer cyborg to execute your next enemy? This guy has not just one, but three. Want to turn dead heroes into reanimated murder puppets? Well, let me assure you you'll find it here on production. Grotesque much? Too bad, our villainous buddy over here thinks it's efficient. We're talking about the same guy who employs D.A. Sinclair, the psychotic scientist who literally turns college kids into mutated robo-slaves. Cruelty at its peak. And why? Because they're useful. You know who else said that? Every Bond villain ever. The only difference is that Cecil boasts his government badge and somehow actually manages to convince everyone he's the good guy. What the actual? Omni Man would punch a hole in a building to kill a threat. I'd say that's messy as hell, though it gets the job done. But Cecil, oh no. He would rebuild that building, except now it's a secret lab, and inside are brain-hacked children with buzzsaws for arms. But he's the hero, right? Omni Man has rage. We're talking furious fits of anger. Cecil is a more calm and composed dude. His rage doesn't control him one bit. Let's be real, Omni Man is just another one of those rage incarnates dressed in a cape. When he snapped, it was bloody, and let's not forget to mention visceral. And you saw it yourself. I mean, think of that epic subway scene. Unforgettable, brutal honesty in the form of well-pulverized organs. Cecil, though, rage isn't his thing. He's the mind to rely more on orchestration. While Omni Man was busy melting faces with his fists, Cecil was already running damage control, gaslighting Mark, deploying monsters, and probably blackmailing 3 presidents on the side. And when a villain has control over his fury, you know it's over for the good guys. Rage is predictable. Control, though, that's terrifying. And it's fair enough to say that Cecil has a monopoly on it. Something very interesting about this dude is his moral compass, or lack of thereof. Omni Man can be a complete monster, but he's a trained monster. He was indoctrinated, bred to conquer. It's all he's ever known, but Cecil, he chooses this. Every shady choice, every backroom deal, every corpse turn in a cyber roadkill. Cecil did that with full awareness, a half smile, and 0 remorse. You know, that moment when someone steps over a moral line, realizes it, and just keeps walking like it's a runway? That's Cecil. He's not conflicted, he's committed. He'll burn a village to save a country. He'll kill a child to save the species. He probably microwaves his cat's food because cold meat isn't optimal for feline digestion. So why didn't he stop Omni Man? Because it was easier to let him be Earth's top superhero. Why ruin a good thing, even if it's built on lies, blood, and the looming threat of interstellar slavery? Cecil figured he wants to protect Earth. Cool, let him. Meanwhile, he quietly built contingency plans in case things went south. And when Omni Man did snap and killed the Guardians of the Globe, Cecil still didn't do anything drastic. He just pivoted to Plan B like he'd anticipated this in a PowerPoint presentation 5 years ago. That's not vigilance, that's cold, premeditated indifference. Another thing you probably already noticed is that he's a control freak dressed as a patriot. Cecil doesn't trust heroes. Typical villain behavior, sure. He doesn't believe in good. He doesn't believe in leverage, secrets, and enough plausible deniability to make your head spin. If Batman and Nick Fury had a baby, raised it on conspiracy theory podcasts, and injected it with liquid paranoia, you'd get Cecil. The worst part, he's never wrong. That's what makes him so damn dangerous. His plan works. His gambles pay off, and every time they do, he gets a little more certain that mortality is optional. And he's the only adult in a room full of idealists. This realization sure sends shivers down my spine. But you know what could give you more goosebumps? When you finally understand that Omni Man's terror ended, Cecil's never will. Let that sink in. Omni Man eventually snapped out of it. Guilt, regret, fatherly instincts, whatever. The man who once saw humans as insects eventually flew into space crying over his half-human son. There's potential for redemption. Cecil, that's man's arc in a flat line of calculated menace. He'll never change because in his mind there is nothing wrong with what he's doing. He's Earth's ultimate puppet master, and he sleeps like a baby, probably on a memory foam pillow stuffed with alien teeth. Here's my final thought on this. I trust a killer more than a liar. Give me Omni Man any day. At least he had the decency to throw his punches where we could see them. Cecil hides his knives behind NDA and plausible deniability. He's the monster you never suspect until your government suddenly owns your DNA and your microwave is recording your phone calls. Cecil is the guy you don't notice until it's too far late. He does not want to rule the world. He just wants to run it from behind a tinted window in a bunker 200 feet underground surrounded by files marked, classified, and bodies labeled necessary collateral. Did you catch every clue about why Cecil might be scarier than Omni Man, or did something slip past you? Drop your take in the comments, like and share if your mind's spinning. And if you think he's the darkest, wait until you meet real saddest character. Subscribe so you don't miss what's next.